Wait,
how about this story? California lawmakers want to raise the minimum wage to $15 in 6 years. This obsession, it's sort of like low-cost housing for the homeless, yes.
I don't think it's that they want to. But by the time you hear this, it should have been agreed upon that California lawmakers have gotten there.
Right.
They
so
did it.
People understand L.A.'s already done this.
Right.
So now, and both the city and the county, and now it's going statewide.
Yeah, the reality is, I mean, I'm not an economist. I just know that that prices cannot be artificially set one way or the other for any goods or services, especially by the man. It never works out. Like your notion is, we are going to pull impoverished people out of poverty by giving them a falsely inflated rate to do something that any 14-year-old freshman in high school could do. Flip burgers, shake fries, hand out stuff in a drive-through.
Bus tables.
Whatever it is. This is going to help this problem. It will have zero effect.
Oh, it's going to have a horrible effect. And I will tell you, as somebody who owns and operates many different food service entities, what's going to happen? I mean, I've already seen it happen. Prices go up, sales go down, hours get cut back. And there's also a mutiny between the front of the house and the back of the house in restaurants, because the back of the house guys want to know, why is it that we're making $15 an hour and the guy who's not sharing tips with me at the front of the house is now getting a raise when that guy's already making the equivalent of $100 an hour?
Yeah, it's insane. And everybody does this thing where they go, well, aren't these people entitled to a living wage? And the answer is no, nobody's entitled to anything. You're entitled to exactly what you earn or what you're able to earn. So when I worked at McDonald's, I got $2.45 an hour. That was minimum wage. Now, I didn't need a living wage. I lived in a garage at my parents' house, and I attended North Hollywood High. At a certain point, I worked my way out into construction labor, and that was more like $7 an hour. And my foreman told me if I sold my motorcycle and bought a pickup truck, I could get another $1 an hour, which I promptly did, because it sounded like a big bump to me. So then I got $8 an hour, and was it a living wage? Well, 3 dudes in a 1-bedroom apartment bunking up on a futon and eating a lot of Top Ramen. Yeah, I could get by.
You were doing Top Ramen. We were doing the 19-cent boxes of Kraft macaroni and cheese.
We did a lot of that.
Yeah. It was 19 cents.
And that's what it is. Now, if I was single and had 4 kids, then it wouldn't have been a living wage for me. So is it a living wage or isn't it a living wage? I don't know. Who are you?
Yeah, and
you're in charge of that.
It does suck the incentive out. I know that, like you, when I was growing up, if I wanted to make more money, I loved to make money. I had paper routes because that's all you could do back then. Was at a young age, 13 or 14, to get a paper route. So I figured if I'm going to deliver the Ledger and the Herald Examiner, I might as well deliver 2 of the other local papers. Back then it was the Glendale News Press and one of the others. And so I had 4 paper routes, because as long as I'm going to ride my bike around the hills over there, I might as well throw all the papers and make 4 times as much. If somebody was telling me, oh, I'm going to pay you just to deliver the Ledger the same amount that you would make if you were doing 5 different paper routes, same, I guarantee you, I would not have taken on the 4 extra paper routes.
Of course not.
Why would I do that?
And listen, when you're working at McDonald's, you're not supposed to be happy.
Exactly right. The Happy Meal's for the customers.
Right.
It's not for you.
No. You get
You're supposed to be unhappy. You're supposed to say to yourself, hey, if I don't want to do this, I'm going to go get a skill set of some other kind. And now, as you had mentioned earlier today, the internet is your oyster. You can learn anything. You can
I sat every waking moment I spent in my brown polyester gi working at McDonald's, I spent thinking, how the fuck can I get out of here?
Out of here, exactly.
That's all I thought about.
Can you
if they would have paid me $6 an hour, I would have settled in, and maybe I'd be managing the place today.
I'm going to tell you exactly one of the biggest economic, and I'm not an economist either, but I just know anecdotally. When I was in high school, I started off as a busboy at a place called Emily's Restaurants, now Parkway Grill. And, you'd clean up puke, and we were making $1. I forget what the minimum wage was, but it was very, very little, and it was in the mid-70s. So I then started waiting tables. I worked myself up to waiting tables, and I was making good money because I would take every table and I'd work a double shift. I'd work lunch and dinner because you could get $1,000 in a week in cash. Well, then it came time to go to college, and I started to say, well, why do I want to go to college if I'm already earning $50,000 cash doing this and working 3 days a week? And so there is that dilemma.
Yeah, the reality is this. California, legislation, Slaters, and whoever will never do this. Every problem needs to be reverse engineered. It's not, we need to build low-cost housing for the homeless community. The question is, why do we have so many goddamn homeless people wandering around the street? They've loaded crap in their pants. And it's not, how do we get this mother three that's flipping burgers at Burger King? How do we get her living? No, how do we get her to not have the 3 kids? How do we get her to not be single? How do we get her, she's 31. What the hell is she doing here? Let's reverse engineer the problem and fix it. There'll never be enough money to get the 31-year-old mother of 3 good so that she can properly take care of. I mean, unless McDonald's wants to start paying $45 an hour.
And then guess what? McDonald's is they're going to start closing shops. It's just, it's the reality of it. You saw the article that I read
King's already
today.
doing it. I went into a spot, they have the kiosk.
Right.
You just order and then they call your name.
You're just going to eliminate the labor.
They don't.
It's just, this is not a skill set that is going to get rewarded. You're just going to eliminate the labor.
Well, here's the thing about the politicians. Do they not know? Well, first thing you should know as a politician, look, whether your former mayor is going to run for governor of California via Retardo or Gavin Newsom, everybody in business is smarter than you. They're all smarter than you. You're playing chess and you're wearing a fucking wind-up beanie and you're playing against a Russian chess master. They're all smarter than you. Listen, Via Retardo failed the bar 4 times. Believe me, he's an imbecile. And if you don't think Nissan and Toyota and whomever, Burger King or if you don't think they're all quite a bit smarter than you got to find a mirror. And you got to check. Well, it's gut check time. So you think you're going to impose something on Toyota or Nissan or McDonald's and get away with it? No. Checkmate. They'll move to Texas. They'll automate the kiosk. They'll do whatever it takes. Right. They're smarter than you, and they're in business.
And they're not. This is what just kills me. It's such a attack on the lowest of the low, the food service industry. That's all it is, because $15 an hour doesn't matter at a manufacturing plant where people have a skill set because they're already paying that much. I mean, it's a joke. It's only at the entry level. And so all this is going to do is eliminate the entry level.
Yeah, for a bunch of people who should learn how to work who are in the 10th and 11th grade.
Correct.